The life story of the late Ali Hassan Mwinyi. February 29, 2024 will remain memorable in the history of Tanzanian after the demise passing of the former President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Ali Hassan Mwinyi. Mwinyi, who was the second President of Tanzania, took office on November 5, 1985. He was born on May 5, 1925. President Samia Suluhu Hassan announced the sad news of demise passing of Mwinyi on Thursday evening of 29 February 2024 at Mzee Hospital, Dar es Salaam. While addressing the nation, President Samia mentioned a cause of Mwinyi's death as lung cancer, and that he had been receiving treatment since November 2023 in the United Kingdom, and later returned to Tanzania, where he continued treatment until his death at the age of 98. President Samia declared 7 days of national mourning and stated that Mwinyi will be laid to rest on March 2nd in Zanzibar Isles. Global TV brings you the life history of the late Ali Hassan Mwinyi, from early life, education, political career, to being a president. The late Ali Hassan Mwinyi served as the President of Tanzania for 10 years from 1985 to 1995. His life story began on May 8, 1925, when he was born in the village of Kivule in the Kisiju Pwani area, Mukuranga district, in the coastal region of Tanzania. As a child, Mwinyi was given the name Sihaba by his parents, meaning gratitude to God for blessing them with a son. Until his birth, they only had daughters. At the age of 4, the journey of the late Mwinyi's life entered a crucial stage that would change the course of his entire future. His father, Hassan Mwinyi, decided to take the young boy to Zanzibar to receive upbringing and Islamic education. In his life storybook published in 2020, Mwinyi explains that his father wished for him to be a devout Muslim and a great scholar. To achieve this goal, his father wanted him to study religion, eventually attending the prestigious Ukutani Islamic School in Zanzibar. Upon arriving in Unguja, he was entrusted to the care of his father's friend's family in the village of Mangapwani. As planned, he was initially enrolled in a Quranic school for children. While continuing his Quranic studies in Mangapwani village, the opportunity for primary education arose, and he joined first grade in 1933 at Mangapwani Primary School at the age of 8.5. While continuing his Quranic studies in Mangapwani village, the opportunity for primary education arose, and he joined first grade in 1933 at Mangapwani Primary School at the age of 8.5. After studying for 4 years at the school, Mwinyi was among 2 students selected to continue their education at the Dole Middle School, a boarding school where he studied until the 8th grade. In his life book, Mwinyi explains that he consistently ranked among the top 3 students throughout his primary education. After completing primary education, he continued to secondary education and later underwent preliminary teacher training at Dole in 1944. Mwinyi officially began teaching immediately after completing his studies. After working for 10 years, he was sent to study in the United Kingdom at Durham University for teacher training from 1954 to 1956. Between 1961 and 1962, Mwinyi returned to the UK for further training at Hull University. Upon his return to Zanzibar, he was appointed as the head of the Teacher Training College, a position he held until 1964, when the Zanzibar Revolution occurred. Mwinyi loved teaching and cherished the Swahili language. It was not surprising to often hear him, during his lifetime, condemning the misuse of the Swahili language. After the Zanzibar Revolution on January 12, 1964, when the Sultanate regime was overthrown, many public servants, especially British citizens, left the islands, leaving a leadership vacuum in the government. Mzee Mwinyi was appointed by the first president of Zanzibar, Abeid Amani Karume, to be the Secretary General in the Ministry of Education. In April 1964, the governments of Zanzibar under the late Karume and Tanganyika under Mwalimu Julius Nyerere merged to form the United Republic of Tanzania. 6 years later, In December 1970, Mwinyi was appointed as a minister in the Union government and served in various ministries, starting from the President's office and then Health from 1972 to 1975. In 1975, Mwalimu Nyerere
Hassan Mwinyi kuwa ndiye aliyechaguliwa
appointed Mwinyi as the Minister of Home Affairs until he resigned in 1977 following the violation of human rights by law enforcement agencies during a special operation to control the killing of elderly people in the Lake Zone regions based on accusation of being witches. After resigning, Mwinyi was appointed as Tanzania's ambassador to Egypt from 1978 to 1981. Upon his return from Egypt, Mwinyi rejoined Nyerere's cabinet until 1984. In January 1984, what is known in the history of Tanzanian politics as the Zanzibar political crisis occurred when then-President of Zanzibar, Aboud Jumbe, was forced to resign from all party and government positions. After Jumbe's resignation, Mwinyi was appointed by the party leadership under Mwalimu Nyerere to be the president of Zanzibar until the general elections of 1985. 1985 was a crucial year in Tanzania's political history as Mwalimu Nyerere was stepping down from power. In his book, Mwinyi explains that many, including himself, believed that then Prime Minister and seasoned diplomat Dr. Salim Ahmed Salim would succeed Mwalimu. It wasn't so. According to Mwinyi, some conservative elders within the CCM party rejected Dr. Salim, and Mwalimu Nyerere had to accept it to maintain the party's unity. Luck, once again, fell on Mwinyi. Mwinyi took office at a time when Tanzania was going through economic hardships. He had to make policy and political changes to stimulate economic growth. These changes were not easy to implement because, within the government and the CCM party, there were still those who believed in and wanted to continue the socialist system. However, Mwinyi held on to the reins of leadership and implemented what he believed in, making his administration more characterized by changes ranging from policy to political and economic. It was during his administration that the government began to take steps backward in running the economy directly and allowed the private sector to enter, the return of a multi-party system, and the allowance of private media. These and other actions earned him a name that would continue to be a symbol of his leadership. Not everyone welcomed his changes, especially the conservatives of socialism. He is also criticized for fostering corruption in Tanzania. In his book, Mwinyi mentions several challenges he faced in leadership, some of which include the rift in the Union between Zanzibar and the mainland, religious conflicts, drug abuse, HIV/AIDS, and student and labor strikes.